of a rock beach. A silver-gray curve broke from the desert, sending rivers of sand and dust cascading all around. It lifted higher, resolved into a giant questing mouth. It was a round, black hole with edges glistening in the moonlight. The mouth snaked toward the narrow crack where Paul and Jessica huddled. Cinnamon yelled in their nostrils. Moonlight flashed from crystal teeth. Back and forth the great mouth wove, Paul still his breathing, Jessica crouched, staring. It took intense concentration of her Bene Gesserit training to put down the primal terrors. She doesn't want to be recorded. She's funny. Subduing a race memory fear that threatened to fill her mind, Paul felt a kind of elation. In some recent instant, he had crossed a time barrier into more unknown territory. He could sense the darkness ahead, nothing revealed to his inner eye. It was as though some step he had taken to plunge him into a well, or into the trough of a wave where the future was invisible. The landscape had undergone a profound shifting. And when I stop, you stop. Instead of fighting him, the sensation of time darkness forced a hyper-acceleration of his other senses. He found himself registering every available aspect of the thing that lifted from the sand there seeking him. Its mouth was some 80 meters in diameter. Crystal teeth with the curved shape of crysknives glinting around the rim. The bellows breath of cinnamon, subtle aldehydes, acids. The worm blotted out the moonlight as it crushed the rocks above them. A shower of small stones and sand cascaded into the narrow hiding place. Paul crowded his mother farther back. Cinnamon! The smell of it flooded across him. What has the worm to do with the spice melange, he asked himself, and he remembered Liette Kynes betraying a veiled reference to some association between worm spice. Baroom! It was like a peal of dry thunder coming from far off to their right. Again. Baroom! The worm drew back into the sand, lay there momentarily, its crystal teeth weaving moon flashes. Lump, 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 lump. Another thumper, Paul thought. Again it sounded off to their right. Are you done interrupting? A shudder passed through the storm. It drew farther away into the sand. Only a mounded upper curve remained like a half of Bell Mouth, the curve of a tunnel rearing above the dunes. Sand rasped. A creature sank farther, retreating, turning. It became a mound of cresting sand that curved away through a saddle in the dunes. Paul stretched out of the crack, watched the sand wave recede across the waste toward the new thumper summons. Jessica followed, listening. Lump, 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 lump. Presently the sound stopped. Paul found the tube in his still suit, sipped at the reclaimed water. Lump? Did you just say lump? Did you hear it? Jessica focused on his action, but her mind felt blank with fatigue and aftermath of terror. Has it gone for sure? She whispered. Somebody called it, Paul said. Fremen. She felt herself recovering. It was so big. Not as big as the one that got our thopter. Are you sure it was Fremen? They used a thumper. Why would they help us? Maybe they weren't helping us. Maybe they were just calling a worm. Why? An answer lay poised at the edge of his awareness, but refused to come. He had a vision in his mind of something to do with the telescoping barbed stick in their packs, the maker hooks. Why would they call a worm? Jessica asked. A breath of fear touched his mind, and he forced himself to turn away from his mother, to look up the cliff. We'd better find a way up there before daylight, he pointed. Those poles we passed, there are more of them. She looked, following the line of his hand, saw the poles, wind-scratched markers, made out of the shadow of a narrow ledge that twisted into the crevasse high above them. They mark a way up the cliff, Paul said. He settled his shoulders into the pack, crossed to the foot of the ledge, and began the climb upward. Oh, 5 minutes is plenty.